Hey everyone, welcome to episode 8 of the Digital Signage Works podcast. I'm Martin Lindsley.
And I'm Robert Mullen.
We start them off the same every time, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Excellent.
Consistent.
Very good. So we're going to talk about social media and digital signage. And is that the way to go? Is that a possible way to create content and interact with your customers and with your staff through using that social media? So what is social media, Rob?
Social media is basically everything on the internet. It is Facebook, it is Twitter, it is Instagram, which I'm a favorite of. I like Instagram a lot. And then there's dozens of others of groups out there.
Judging from your Facebook page, it looked like you had a great weekend.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good. You know, social media is a great way for companies to get their branding out there. So, for example, Moxie Soda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a big fan.
Yes.
And it's the only reason I would ever go on Facebook. Well, and to see the Noventry.
I've never been to the
page.
Moxie Facebook page. Have you?
Yes. Don't track my internet usage
Okay.
on the company time.
I'm just curious to see, what did you find there?
They had a lot of fun, interactive things to do for their Facebook followers. It was actually quite interesting to look through there. That's Moxie Soda. Well, we just had some friends down from New England that brought us a couple cases, so
Yes.
it's high on my priority list at the moment. So, but you know, for organizations, you know, that's a great way to outreach. To keep things fun and light, get some interaction going with customers or again with their employees. So it seems natural. Like, hey, since it's a digital format, why don't we turn that and put that on digital signage?
It seems natural.
Seems natural. Yep. So why would you want to integrate social media with digital signage content, Rob?
Well, you'd want to create excitement and interest in your digital signage. You want to create interactivity. You want to have your clients to be able to put their name up on their screen or to say something great about your product or your company.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Another thing that everyone with digital signage struggles with is having fresh and exciting content.
Right.
To constantly create that can be an issue. And the other issue is, well, how do I get people to pay attention to my signs? So, you know, in some cases, individuals turn to social media. And they say, hey, you know, if we use, maybe we'll have something on Facebook or, you know, have a link or something appear on the digital signage content, just a way to get more interaction with the signage. That way they can feel like they're getting value out of their content. And again, because that content would update automatically as people would post. You know, you said you're a fan of Instagram. How often do you post to Instagram?
Honestly, about once a week.
Once a week? Well, you are old.
I am old, yes.
So, you know, let's say you had... if you had a big client base who were buying Rob's Jerry Garcia tie knockoffs or something, I don't know.
Right.
Something like that, you know, they may be posting and going back and forth on Instagram, Twitter, whatever the medium is that you choose. And so therefore, you know, let's say somebody's posting, you have 800 followers and you get one post an hour. Well, that's going to really make your content
Right.
update and seem alive. And, you know, plus people will like that and be able to say, hey, you know, look here, and you can see what you posted. Hey, there it is on the signage. It looks great. And, you know, now you've got them engaged that way with your content.
Yes, you have a lot of layers of interest going on there. First of all, you have your digital signage. You have people who are posting to Twitter and Facebook and all that, and it shows up on the digital signage. You can create some buzz and interest in the digital signage, and then the digital signage can create people to want to post on your Facebook page or even go to your website. And then you have visits and SEO and all kinds of good things where you get better rankings for your website by encouraging people to visit and interact with your website.
Yeah, it's kind of a sneaky way to get two things accomplished. Not only does your digital signage content get viewed, but you're also going to get those social media hits and buzz that's generated from having that interaction. So,
Right.
You know, like you said, that's a great way to help out your SEO and to build up some followers that way. You get that brand mention, as they say,
Right.
As far as on social media. So then, if you're thinking about using social media for your content, then what would you want to show, or even what feeds to use? I mean, you said you like Instagram.
I'm an Instagram person. Yes,
I have a Facebook account, but that's only to spy on my kids to see what they're up to.
Right.
I don't use Facebook.
All right.
So you need to take into consideration your audience.
Right. What are you selling? If you're selling something with a lot of imagery and a lot of flash, then Instagram is a good one to use because it's a photography site. If you have more information type of stuff, then Facebook is good for older audiences, which I'm a part of, and you are too, Martin.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, for the older ones, Instagram tends to, I guess, gear towards a younger crowd. And, of course, Twitter is sort of in between there. So, and Twitter's nice because it's quick and easy to, type in your 114 characters, whatever it is, and put something out there real fast.
Right. So you need to make sure that whatever medium you choose, it's something that whoever your audience is going to be able to use and be familiar with.
Right.
When Twitter first came out, it was, what's a tweet? I don't know anything about it. I still don't because I'm old, as you mentioned. But I can go ask my kids and they'll tell me.
They'll tell you. Yes.
So you want to make sure that way, you're not wasting your space on the screen or nobody ever uses it. So you have to pick that out first. Some of the things that you might want to keep in mind as far as what to actually show then. Let's say for interactions for staff facing. Maybe you've had company events, picnics, parties, things like that. You might say, hey, share your pictures, and put them on our Facebook page, and they'll appear out here on our lobby signage, or something like that, so that that way you're able to get your staff interested, and they'll be looking at the digital signage to see those different social media feeds come through live. Hey, look, I'm up in lights. There's my comment. Haha, Bob, you look funny at the picnic with that hat, or whatever the case is.
It's a great morale booster.
Yeah, so it's a morale booster. And then, again, you have them keyed into looking at those screens, so you can put other pertinent content in there as well, so that they know, hey, that's the spot to go to where they can see fun, entertaining things, but also to be able to get company updates, news, metrics, whatever.
Yes, and you can encourage your employees to photograph each other and also have them behave themselves at those picnics because they know they're going to end up on the screen.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, Rob, let me ask you this. What about if you're a QSR or menu board? Sometimes people think, hey, that's a great way to interact with people who are waiting in line. They're waiting for food. Hey, why don't we have a spot up there where they can, post their tweets or interact with Facebook or do something that way? Is that really a good usage for social media?
On a menu board, I would have to steer you away from that. I would have to say no. Menu boards should stay as menu boards, not as tweet locations. However, if you have promotional areas of your menu board, or if you have a promotional screen, then you want to encourage people to say, oh, I love this ice cream, I love this hamburger, or a picture of people looking happy in your restaurant, that kind of thing. Then you could put it up in that situation. But then you have to start being careful, don't you?
Yes. And that gets into our point number 3.
Right.
Things to keep in mind if you're going to use social media for digital signage content. Because what can happen, Rob?
Nothing bad can happen.
Ever, right?
Unless there's people out there who fancy themselves as funny or jokesters or just angry.
Or people who use the internet.
Or people who use the internet, right. Any of those 3 groups of people you have to watch out for.
Right, so you could run into the biggest issue is how are you going to monitor what's going on with your social media feed as far as what's being displayed out on the signage? How can you keep negative tweets from coming through, maybe even objectionable things? You don't want to be Big Brother and censor everything, but you also don't want to be sued.
Right.
Or be held liable for things that are posted. There's a couple interesting posts on our blog where sports arenas would have like, hey, send us your tweets or whatever, and they put it up on the scoreboard during the game and actually caused quite a bit of problems for some individuals because of the content that was allowed to slip through. Right.
Now, there is software out there to help with that, to look for keywords and key types of images with that. But there's ways around that. You got to be careful. So you really do need to keep an eye on it before it goes up there.
Right. And also, if you're using any types of images, that are being posted on social media, having a live feed that way, it's very hard to censor the images unless you have somebody there watching it constantly. Just the software isn't quite there yet where it can really look through there. It might be able to pick out some things, but and again, that goes with how creative are you. If you try to set up something to prevent somebody from doing something, there's people who are going to find a way around it. So that's certainly something that you need to be careful of. And also, how long is it going to take you to, once you do find out, and then you have to go in and try to remove that from the feed or whatever, how long is that going to take? Who's going to manage it? How many people are you going to have devoted to that? And how much do you want to pay for lawyers?
Right. It depends on how family friendly you want to be. If you're, a family restaurant or a nightclub, there's a whole different, I guess, I'm not sure what the word is, a whole qualification there that you have to go through for that.
Right. And, it might be a good idea if you are trying to boost morale, maybe put a screen in the break room or somewhere like that and that can be a little more devoted to that type of thing where, the people who are going to use it, they're also the ones who are there going to interact with it. So it can keep it a little more contained. Or you might get some quicker feedback that, hey, something's on there that's Rob posted that we really need to take down.
Right. Or maybe even better yet, investigate. Perhaps there's some disgruntled employees or there's a problem in the organization. It might show up that way. But, keep that in the break room. You don't want that in the front lobby.
All right. So social media is all around us. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody uses it. Even Moxie uses it.
Even Moxie. Even I use it.
Wow. I don't. Well, unless I'm looking for what my kids are into.
Right.
But other than that, but it is a viable source of keeping updated content. You just really need to be careful how you use it, who monitors it, and how are you going to handle any situations that may arise that are undesirable.
Right. You said it very well.
Well, thank you. All right, very good. Well, thanks for listening in. And also be sure to check out on our blog. As I said, we have some articles on there dealing with social media and digital signage. But we also have a Digital Signage Basics ebook that just came out.
That's right.
And so for some people just starting in and they're, maybe they're thinking of social media as, I don't really know a whole lot about digital signage. Is it okay to use something like that? Or what are even the parts and pieces I need to get a digital signage network up and running?
Correct. We really didn't touch on the technical side of that. That could be for our next show, perhaps.
That may be. We'll let you handle that one.
Yeah.
Since you know all about social media.
Yeah.
Darn kids.
Yes. I'm taking over everything. Oh, here's a fun fact, not related to digital signage or anything, but before we go, millennials have taken over baby boomers as the largest population.
Nice.
Of, I guess, generational population.
Did somebody tweet that to you?
I read it on a tweet.
Ah, very good. Snapchat, I believe, is another one I've heard.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. And again, go to Noventry.com. You go to Digital Signage Resources, and you'll be able to find all kinds of nice downloads there. But the Digital Signage Basics ebook will get you started on that road to getting your digital signage education on. And so you can know where to go and what to look for when it comes to a digital signage network.
Fantastic. And for those of you who are social media users, please Google Plus it when you see it. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
Is that +1?
That's Google +1.
All right.
Yes.
See, I knew something. All right. So, again, this is Martin.
And this is Rob.
Thanks for listening, and have a great rest of your day.